Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how fire is an important concept in three domains: mythology, art, and science. Its importance is not just a symbolic element, but also metaphorically.
So, I have been researching on the mythological domain, and I would like to ask you that how is fire in the science domain?
So in science, I think fire is all about opposites. A fuel, you add oxidation and you heat it, and the fire starts. It's called a combustion reaction. And what's happening is the fuel, it gets oxidized, which means it loses electrons, and at the same time oxygen gets reduced, which means it's gaining electrons. So two opposite things, losing and gaining, are happening at the same time. And I think you can connect that to art, where two things that are opposite are connected.
Yeah, so I agree. I think fire does have two sides. One painting by Frida Kahlo called The Two Fridas. It uses fiery tones to depict both emotional pain and passion. So that shows how fire is two sided and it has two sides. Another thing I'd come across when I was going through something in mythology is this bird called the phoenix. I think it connects to how fire has two sides.
Yes, so when the phoenix dies from fire, ashes are formed, and from those ashes, the phoenix is born again. So, that is destruction and renewal or rebirth.
So that shows how fire is two sided.
Yeah, so I think you can also connect that to the idea that destruction is giving cause to rebirth. So destruction isn't always bad. You can also prevent things by destroying them. For example, when you have a forest fire, you fight fire with fire. You light the rest of the forest on fire so that there's nothing else for the fire to catch on, and the forest fire has been stopped. So you prevent things by destroying them initially.
Yeah, so I agree to that. There's something where people or artists have used fire as protest to stop things from happening. So in 2012, there was an Italian artist who launched an art war where he publicly burned artworks to protest government art budget cuts, and soon, like, he was able to get the government to like increase the budget. So I think I agree to what you said.
I would also agree because in Hawaiian mythology, the goddess Pele destroys the forests and town of Hawaii, simultaneously creating and shaping new lands. So, one point I would like to make is that this fire, it needs destruction for creation, as I just said.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. When you create something, you need to destroy the old in order to create the new. Like in our bodies, our cells, they respire, they make energy or ADP. But to make this ATP energy, they need to break down glucose. So in order to create something new, you're destroying the old.
Yeah, so I can connect this a little to the Burning Man temple. It is a place that is intended for communal reflection and remembrance. So it's where people heal and they process grief. So over there, they write memories of people who have passed away, and then those memories are burnt. So it's trying to tell you to move on and to make space for new memories.
So I would like to ask the art domain that I researched upon something that you use ashes as in your paintings. So I'd like for you to throw some light on that.
Yeah, so Alberto Bury, he does charcoal art, and that is so he does that by heating the fire physically, which alters the material, and then it gives charcoal. So then they use that charcoal to make artworks and installations. So, yeah.
So yeah, I think this connects to the idea that you're using fire physically to create a symbolic piece of art. So fire is both physical and also symbolic. It's a physical reaction that you can see, you can feel its heat, but it's also something that represents energy and power. Like it's a spontaneous reaction. You can see the impact, and I think you can connect that to mythology when there's like a massive destruction.
Yeah, like the Shiva's Tandav dance, which is there. In that, he does the Tandava when he gets angry and he wants to destroy the world. So that is also one form of art, which is there.
Yeah, so um, I haven't researched much on the dancing component, but I would like to say that
One second.
I'll say something
Record
about
करना है,
dance.
हाँ?
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
it is
no,
recorded.
I don't know anything about
No,
that.
I'll say and I'll connect.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I think when you connect it to dance and art, it's where a lot of people are coming together and they're performing synchronized movements. You can also connect that to like unity. Fire is something that also represents unity. In science, for example, you have three elements: heat, oxygen, and fuel that are working together for fire to happen. And even if you remove one of them, the fire stops. So they're all working together. It represents unity and teamwork. And this could also be used in tradition, like in the olden times, and even nowadays, they used to have huge fires, sacrifices, and bonfires where people used to gather for festivals. And I think you can connect that more to mythology.
Yeah, I don't know much about this topic, but something that I would like to add, as when people come together, that would have been like a civilization. And in the Greek mythology, when Prometheus stole fire and gave it to the humans, they learned how to cook, eat, and do other sorts of stuff that gave them light to start a whole new civilization. And over there, they had a rich history about that.
Yeah, so I think the important concept here is that fire is a tool. You can use it for cooking or it helps humans. It's not necessarily for destruction or creation. And I think even in art you use fire to make paintings and things like that. You use it as a tool as well.
So I have another connection for fire. So pottery, it's usually clay, but when you put it in fire, it hardens the clay. So that shows that fire can make something stronger and it's not only used for destruction. So
Um
Keep it going. Keep it recording. Keep it recording.
Yeah.
Keep it recording. This is the assessment.
Yeah.
The recording
So,
is the assessment.
Yeah, so I think fire, it's not just about destruction, which we've been talking about right now. It's also about creation, like the creation of a lot of energy. So I was researching the energy release of fire, and fire is a reaction that happens really fast. And when it happens rapidly, it's called rapid oxidation, it releases a lot of energy and a lot of power. So I think it's also sort of related how fire is seen as something for the gods in mythology because it's involved with power.
Yeah, so fire is used as power and destruction in mythology. As if you have, as the Hindu god Agni Devta, he's the god of fire, and he has a lot of, he's known for uh, doing stuff on like fire and giving fire to the earth. And one more thing I could throw some light on was how fire is used as creation in Norse mythology. How the two realms of fire, Muspelheim and Niflheim, uh, were there in a void which was called Ginnungagap. And the heat from Muspelheim melted the ice of Niflheim, and there were some water drops created, which were the gods which created the earth. So fire can be also used as creation.
So I went through some mythology, like I researched about mythology, and I found that fire can also be used as purification. And I came across something called Agni Parikshan. So if you could throw some light on that.
Yeah, so fire is used as purity mostly when sati is going to happen. So in that when the king dies, the wife of the king through like suicides in a pit of fire, and that is used as purification. Sometimes they don't want to do it, but it's a necessary. So I could in science how fire is used as purification, something to do with smelting.
Yeah, so in science, you strengthen metals by heating them and putting them in fire so that they become stronger. And also, this is not necessarily about purification, but maybe about making peace. And the thing in fire is that they're free radicals, which basically means an atom which has an electron which it doesn't have a pair. So the atoms, they have unpaired electrons, and these are called free radicals. And in order to become stable, these free radicals, they try taking electrons from other atoms, but then that atom loses electrons and it tries to get electrons from another atom, and it keeps on going on like a chain reaction. And in order to stop this, we use an extinguisher which reacts with the atoms, and it stabilizes all the atoms, which stops the fire. So I think that's related to how you're making peace. And even purification can be seen as a way as destroying the evil or getting rid of the bad.
So, like, how would purification be used in science?
I don't think purification can be used directly in science, but purification is also about changing something, because it's also a type of destruction, I think, because you're destroying impurities. And you can see that when you're cooking something, you're changing it. And I think you can also look at how something changes in art. Like, you can look at pieces of art where something changes, there's transformation.
So I'll go to another example of the Burning Man festival, which is a festival dedicated to self-expression and communal collaboration. So it's showing the impermanence of art, saying that it connects to destruction and rebirth, where the old art is destroyed to make space for new ideas. So it's showing how not everything is permanent and fixed. So I think you can connect that to some things in mythology.
Yeah, fire can be used as destruction as well, like mostly like forest fires and all, which would connect to science. The mythological domain, what I said was the Tandava dance, which is there as destruction, or like the wars that would happen against God and demons. A lot of fire was used over there, and the hell, which is there, Satan, that's mostly fire and torture.
Yeah, so I think the idea here is that destruction is always about getting rid of something, but I think destruction isn't always a bad thing. It can also be a good thing. Sometimes you can use it for prevention, like I think you'd mentioned about how people do protests with art. Another example I found in science is an iron pillar in Delhi, which hasn't rusted for 1,600 years. And the reason is that nowadays people make steel by combining iron and carbon, but in the olden times, Indian metallurgists, they used mostly iron, very less carbon. So what happened was an initial layer of rust formed on the pillar, but that layer of rust ended up protecting the pillar from more rust forming. So destruction can also be preventive. It's not a bad thing all the time.
So another protest I went through was in 2015. A Russian artist used fire to ignite the doors of the Russian FSB. So again, it's showing that destruction is not always a bad thing, because you can like get what you want through destruction sometimes.
As you said about the iron pillar, in scientific terms, wouldn't galvanization being used?
Yeah, so galvanization is when you're using something else like zinc to cover the iron so that rusting doesn't happen. But here it's the rust itself that's protecting it. So it's like technically you're destroying it because it's rusting, but the rust is also preventing more rust. Galvanization is when you add zinc. This is rust.
So I think we have gotten a lot of insights on how fire connects to the three domains. And we would like to end with how fire has two sides and that destruction is not always bad.
And how destruction, for creation, you need to destroy something. So fire does have two sides. And to do one thing, you have to do the other thing, which might seem painful, but it's for the best. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.